What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Make Money Matter. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the truth about passive income and financial freedom. Is it really possible to actually make money while you sleep? And today I'm joined here with the amazing Tjibaria.
Hello.
With her massive smile there. So Tjibaria, a lot of people, they get very skeptical when they see all these people saying make money while you sleep and all that. And we understand where the skepticism comes from because obviously we were never taught these things at school, and whatever we didn't learn at school then seems to be false, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you shed some light on this from your experience so far.
Yeah, I think the funniest example of this is when we were running the first launcher business. Do you remember? And then one of our students, after 2 days, already launched.
That was Chan, huh?
Yeah, Chan. And she came in the third morning. She ran in and she's like, "Guys, I made money while I slept." And she actually, she made her first sales while sleeping. And it was really funny to see, that joy, that excitement. But especially when she said, like, I used to think that was, too good to be true. But now actually experiencing by only 2 days of the training that she was able to do that. And I think the biggest problem with this is that a lot of us are, trading our time for money. And we think like, oh, if we want to make more money, we should, work more hours, or we should, put in more effort and stuff like that. But actually, there are other ways of how you can make money. And there's other ways of how you can add value to people. And once you start to understand these principles, then you actually have a way of, being able to create passive income for yourself that is not depending so much on your own time, and create freedom for yourself.
But I think before you get into the how and what's needed, because I know you have some golden nuggets you want to share with them. But I think that it's important for people to also understand is that when it comes to passive income, we need to understand it's not something where you never need to do anything for the rest of your life. Even if you like, when people talk about passive income, even in property, in real estate, you still need to hire somebody to look after and manage the real estate for you. You still need to, there's certain things you need to do, but it's just saying that, hey, how can we leverage more on these passive income strategies and use less of our time, right? Use a lot less of our time to create a machine.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and this is the same thing with what Chan created, actually, you say, okay, she made money while she slept, but it's not saying that, hey, you guys should just close your eyes and go to sleep now and you should make money from a system. It's saying that Chan was 2 days building this machine, right? And when we're talking about 2 days building machine, it's not like that night she made $1 million, right? That night she made a few dollars. But from there on, then it can progress to $20, $50, $100, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. Then it can progress if you learn how to scale the system, which I know that Tjibaria is going to talk about all these concepts so that at least it helps those who don't understand this. Because like I said, through school, we're never taught these things. We're only taught to get a job and get paid per hour.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is a lot of new content for people. So I know you're dying to get into the depth of it and how the people can get started, right?
Yeah. So one thing that I want you guys to write down is that automation equals freedom.
Nice.
Because in order for you to be able to build passive income, there has to be some level of automation where it is no longer just dependent on your efforts right now in the moment, but it could be one effort that you put out, and then it can continuously be there to serve people. So just to give an example, a very simple one is that there's a lot of the time you've got coaches that are having these very intensive one-to-one sessions with people, and basically it takes a lot of their time, and they really are wanting to help more people because they know that the things that they share can really benefit more people, but they just simply can't because there's only so much you can do as one person speaking to people one-to-one. But a lot of the time as well, whenever they have these sessions with the one-to-one clients, they keep on saying similar things to everybody because it's similar things that can benefit more people. So one thing that you can do as well is then starting, hey, is there something generic in the value that you're giving? Is there something generic in a process that you're running, a sales process or a message that you're giving or whatever it may be, and then automate that so that that thing can still run while you are still helping more and more people and do other things as well. So it's about finding what are the pieces in your value adding or in your business that you can automate. And like you mentioned before in one of the episodes as well, like sometimes you have a few tips about how someone can do X, Y, Z, put it in an ebook. That can help a lot of people. And that ebook, you can create a system, which I'm going to speak to you guys about in a moment, that can continuously, sell to people, that can continuously add value to people, and then you don't have to do anything. You just put it out into a book for once, and still it helps so many other people out there.
Okay, so I think everybody's dying for you to break down the system. What is the system?
Okay, the system consists out of 3 things. So make sure to write these 3 things down. The first thing that you need is called a converter. And a converter is basically something that allows people to take action. And it could be your landing page, it could be your website, it could be your online store where a person can go onto and buy something from you. Or not per se buy, it can also be that they just opt in. So they give their email address where you can then send the information to. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you need, make sure to write this down, is a conversator. So it's basically like what we have talked about a lot, that it's very important to build relationship with people, and that happens through conversation.
Yep.
So it has to be some kind of thing that allows you to conversate with people. So it could be a database that's sending email to people, or it could be a ManyChat that most of you will probably be familiar with, is to send messages to people on autopilot. And then having those 2 things, the converter and the conversator, will allow you to have this, marketing and sales team that basically works for you 24/7 on autopilot.
That's the thing, a lot of people I see today, Tjibaria, they always say that, business is getting harder and harder, there's more and more competition out there. And actually, I see it the opposite way. I see that business is so much easier these days. It's because if you really think about it, I mean, I was, when I was doing business, it was, you had to go out there and hand leaflets out to people, and this was, I'm not saying they don't do that now, you still do it, but we had to go out there, one-on-one meetings, find these people one-on-one. Somehow in the world, you try to find these people. Now, with the click of a button, you can get this mug to somebody else on the other side of the world. You can get this phone case to all the people who are looking for phone cases with a click of a button. If people learn actually how to do it, And so actually I feel it's much easier. And when people say there's a lot of competition, how do you actually look at that, by the way? When people say there's a lot of competition, and how am I going to, is there really any money left to be made?
Yeah, well, 100% yes. Like, there's no doubt about it. And of course, like, I understand where it comes from when people say like there's a lot of competition, because there are incredible resources to our availability with like our phone, our laptop, social media channels, and it's available to everybody. But then comes the next thing is there's basically like you have to stand out. Right, so you have to learn how can you be like. I really liked how you said it during the event in India about you want to be outstanding, like really somebody that people think like, oh wow, that's different, that's interesting, that's nice. So that's one of the things that you.
How can you be different, right? How can you be noticed? How can you get that attention?
Yeah,
right.
How can you get the attention?
And it's very important for people to really stand out like that. So people should not have that. I always think when people say about competition, I think that people shouldn't have the competition mindset, because the moment you say, oh, what are all this competition doing? Well, you're putting yourself in the bracket of the competition. Yeah. So it's very hard to stand out there. So instead you should be saying, hey, what are the top 1% or the top 5% doing? Yeah. And let me model that instead, right?
Yeah. And then the cool thing with that is as well that how do you stand out? A lot of people think like, oh my gosh, that's so difficult and you have to be like super, super this or super, super that. But the powerful thing is that your uniqueness, like you being you, that is one thing that is super, super strong and will allow you to stand out, provided that you're consistent. So just by the way how you are, if you're putting stuff out there consistently, people will notice it, and you will build the traction, you will build the relationship, and thereby also the abundance for yourself.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's one big thing. But obviously, there's still one thing missing to the 3
So first
piece.
The converser, second the conversator, then third
is the traffic generator. Because you may have the best system in the world that is able to do everything on autopilot, but if nobody sees it, then obviously it's not going to benefit anybody. And that's also what you mentioned before, is that you can get that phone case to people who need that right now. And how do you do that? With your traffic generator, which a lot of the time we use Facebook for, because oh my gosh, Facebook knows more about us than we know about ourselves, and we as marketers and as business owners can use that. So you can actually, like, also one of the things that Chan did during her next step after launch your business, she called me up and she was like, oh, I'm so excited, I'm going to launch a new funnel because I now see the power of it. And she said, I want to do something like a weight loss program for brides to be. And I was like, oh my gosh, Chan, you're sitting on a gold mine. And then she was like, oh, tell me more. What are you talking about? I said, well, whenever a girl gets proposed to, what does she do? And then she's like,
select engaged, huh?
yeah, on Facebook, you just change your status, and that is something that you can target for. So it was very easy for her to target exactly the people that needed her service.
Beautiful.
And this goes for pretty much everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that time is up here, but I know that Tjibaria, what are ways they can learn from you with these different strategies that you're teaching?
So if you want to know exactly like from scratch of how you can build your converter, your conversator, and your traffic generator, there's a free masterclass where I explain exactly that. But also, some of you may already be in business and you feel like, hey, I actually still want to leverage off that. Then also you can learn how you can take these things and leverage online to be able to scale your already existing business.
Beautiful. Okay, so guys, you heard it. If you want to sign up for that masterclass or you want to join the private group, feel free to click on the descriptions in the links in the descriptions even, and join that, and then you'll be able to see her smiley face every single day, and then teaching you how to actually live a life full of passion and profit and abundance.
Yeah.
So guys, if you enjoyed this video, you got any value from it whatsoever, please do hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, also comment below, let us know any questions that you guys may have, because we could cover it in another episode. And also let us know where you guys have tuned in from. That's always nice to know. And finally, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to it. That's a little bell sign, by the way, because this year I'm dedicated to making daily videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But for now, guys, we're signing out. Ciao.